what a great showing. I'm sure Will and David are so happy to have all of you guys here. This is great. Thank you very much. I was noticing something, a little side note, this Ferengi face. Anybody know what's not, now who made this? I don't want to offend anybody. But what's different would be a better word than what the real Ferengi heads were made like. Does anybody know? Nobody knows? Oh, good. Oh, somebody know? Except for somebody on the sides. Oh, you made it?
No, I didn't make it. A friend of mine made it.
Oh, okay. So they're not here?
No.
Oh, perfect. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I won't tell you anything you say.
Oh, okay. No, it's nothing bad. It's actually interesting. So the real Ferengi heads were actually two pieces. They weren't one. It wasn't a whole mask that went over the head. This head was separate from the cheek and nose. So it's just something I thought was kind of interesting walking up. It was not one piece. And if you want another little bit of trivia, the original head that I had was just the head. So when I started on the show, does anybody know how old I was when I started on the show?
62.
You know, you guys are so kind to laugh at that. What good people out here, because that was very funny. 62. I don't know how I would be 62. I was 61. I was actually 23, and I looked like I was 12. So I was single for a very long time. But in order, what they did was they gave me, like Max and Armin had this, as well as the cheeks and the nose. I only had the head and the nose for the first several years. So those are my real chubby cheeks, and then that's what made me look so young. And then later, to age me, they would give me cheek prosthetics. That would then they would give you a more angular look to the face. So a little bit of trivia, and that's it. That's all I came here to say. I flew 15 hours to tell you that. I thought that was the most interesting thing to tell you on the show. So thank you very much, JG. Thank you. I don't think you've ever had to be forced to listen to me talk, JG. This is very intimidating. Yeah, I do have a question for you. Yes, thank you. Do you want to run? You come on up and run. I know, I haven't seen a hand go up. I wasn't going to force somebody to ask me a question. I was going to start off and then, eventually they warm up and their hands go in the air. But if you want to intimidate them, yeah, you forced her to raise her hand. Why don't you pass out questions for people? Yes. Oh, how long did it take? How long did it take? Well, when the show started, it took about 3 hours. It took about 3 hours as they started. And as time went on, they got it down to an hour and a half. So that's how long it took. It's a very famous question. It's the question I get asked more than anything. And I have some shirts that say it takes an hour and a half. So you can put your mind where you want with that when you wear it, if you ever decide that you like a shirt. Yeah, it is literally the question I get asked more than anything else throughout the years. Yeah, it's weird. I haven't done a talk in so long. Usually when at cons, I do a little show with Max, and we get our makeup on as Max and Rom, and we do this really awful, silly show. And I haven't done a talk in a long time. This is great because I wish I had more than 30 minutes. But yes.
How's the new kidney doing?
Oh, how's the new kidney doing? Thank you. I don't know how many people are aware I had a kidney transplant on December 29th. And it's so far, knock on wood, it's doing very, very well. It's nerve-wracking because, I have to go to the hospital or to the clinic, it's actually called, every week. So, they're there to tell you how your kidney function is going. So it's always a little nerve-wracking, to be honest. But to be honest, because I'll lie after that. I had my first kidney for almost 29 years, which is absolutely incredible. I don't know how many of you are familiar with kidney transplantation or organ transplantation for that matter. But my first kidney, I got it in 1986. Hello? Oh, there we go. I got it in 1986. And it lasted until last year of August, and that was a cadaver kidney. So it wasn't a donated kidney, which is, it's absolutely incredible for a kidney to last that long. And it's funny because when I was younger, and I graduated high school, and then I got into acting, and then I got Star Trek. And I remember thinking, oh my God, don't fail, just get me through the show. I don't want to lose this opportunity. And it got me through the show. And then my kids were born towards the end of that, and I'm like, oh my God, just get me till they're 18. Those were like the two main things that I had always hoped that I would make it through, that I wouldn't lose my kidney during those times. And I'll start crying when I talk about my kids. And my son, my oldest son, will be 19 next month. And my youngest, see, he's 16. And I made it. I made it till they were adults. And, I know, sorry. That was everything to me. Absolutely everything to me. And then to have the opportunities that I've had because of that transplant, to be on Star Trek, to raise my two boys, to be there all the time, was huge. It was monumental. And as you go through those years and you have that transplant, the fear that lives with you every day is, am I going to lose my kidney today or next week? How's that going to change my life? How am I going to be able to deal with it? So last August, what happened is, it was ironic. I went to the Vegas convention, and afterwards I was sick. I thought I had a very bad cold that turned into bronchitis or pneumonia. And everybody that left that con, JG knows because he was there, was complaining of being sick. There was an email going around with all the actors going, oh my God, I'm sick too. So I'm thinking, I'm just sick. I just like everybody else. So I'm trying to put up with it for 2 weeks, and it's not going away. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if it was getting worse, but I felt like it was getting worse. And to be honest, it's so weird, for 29 years, and then this is happening, and I'm thinking it has nothing to do with my kidney. And then I go into the doctor and I say, I need some antibiotics, because this isn't going away. He took my lab work on Monday, calls me the next morning on Tuesday, and says, Aron, you need to go to the hospital right now. You're in kidney failure. I'm like, and it was like 29 years of this fear has finally come to realization. It's finally come full circle. And it was very cathartic at the same time, because when you're afraid of something for so long, and then you finally have to deal with it, and then you deal with it, and then you make it through that, it's like, well, it's not as bad as I was thinking for all those years, and I was able to deal with it. So, and the person that was there for me, thank you. And I couldn't have done it without Melissa. Because you should have asked me this question at the beginning. It's all right. It's very close to my heart. No, I'm just teasing. But she was there for me every step of the way. Every moment she was there. And then I had the transplant 4 months later, which is another amazing, magnificent occurrence in my life, because it just doesn't happen like that. People are on it for 5 years, 6 years, 10 years before they get a transplant. So to have everything just turn around in 6 months, 4 months was just a whirlwind. And then it happened so fast that I then started to worry, how am I going to pay for all this? How am I, because Melissa, when you go on a transplant list, you have to have a caregiver. And I'm talking so much about this rather than all the questions you might have for Star Trek. So I'll try to wrap this up. This is the first time I've actually talked about this at a convention, by the way. So came all the way to UK to talk about it, and then I'm done. But this is really the first time I've really talked about this in front of people. So I was having the transplant, and I was afraid how I was going to pay for this for the next 3 months. And then Melissa wasn't going to work either. So we started a GoFundMe page to help us out. And I was blown away by all the people, and JG as well, who was there for me, who either donated, shared the page, told their friends and family. Whatever people did, everybody came to my side, came to our side, my family's side, and got us through all that financially, which was a huge deal. And it's just incredible how life works like that. And another example is how you guys are here for these guys, and what happened to them, and how everything they went through, both in what happened to the con as well as financially, and yet here everybody is here for them. And the success that it shows right now and the love and support, you know, it just means so much to people when things like that happen in life. And I've always believed what you give out, you receive. And I'll tell you, I received it tenfold. So thank you. Thank you. So thank you if you were part of that, you were there to support, because it absolutely meant everything to my family, everything. So anyway, so that's my whole little story there on that, and I'll try to get to your questions, so why don't we do that, because I don't have a whole lot of time. Yeah, you have a question there.
In DS9, how did it feel squaring up to JG in the episode where you were telling him to get off the promenade?
That was wonderful. It was a great scene. It was great. Let him talk about that, because he has a lot to say. Because he had to work with me.
I did not tell him to ask that question.
Why are you laughing then? Why are you laughing then? It was great. It was like any other scene. You know, some actor comes on the set, you know, that you don't really know, and he's holding his, you know, he's got his cue cards off the camera because he can't remember his lines, and, you know, I have to work with that. It was very difficult to work with. But being the professional that I am, yeah, at least I have depth perception, you know. He walks around, you know, he actually has an assistant that holds his arm and has a hand out for him so he doesn't bump into walls, you know. It's a challenge for him to be. You should see every time he tries to sit down, always misses the chair. You just can't see how far away it is from his no, it was great working with JG. He was very tall, so my neck was hurting the day after, but it was great. We had a wonderful time. It was a great little scene, and of course I earned his respect, but why wouldn't I, you know? Who doesn't respect Nog? No.
Let me count the ways.
Please do, please do. I wish we got to do more. As a matter of fact, on the flip side of the Klingon, I was always hoped that I would work more with Worf. And I always thought that there would be some kind of kinship, him being in Starfleet and then me following and going into Starfleet. But they never played upon that. They never went further than, I think we only had a few scenes. I think it's because Michael complained about working with me. I don't think he wanted to work with me. No, I'm just kidding. That's just a false rumor. False rumor. It did not happen. But when they did send me to Starfleet, I thought I was done. I thought I was off the show. And I remember when I got the script, or I heard it, no, I don't think I got the script yet. I'm not sure if I got the script or I was told, in the next episode you're going to work in the following week, but you're going to Starfleet. And I was freaking out. I'm like, oh, it's over. This is over. This great run I've had is over. And I kind of was whining about it. I was kind of complaining about it. As JG will attest that I whine a lot. And Rick Berman, he heard that I was kind of crying about it. So he pulled me into the office, called me in. And it's kind of like being pulled into the principal's office. Does that relate out here? I'm not sure if it does. I would assume it does. But it's like as a kid and you get called in the principal's office, like, oh shit, busted. The boss wants to talk to me now. So he calls me in there and he sits me down. He goes, sit down, sit down. And he walks around his desk. And he goes, I heard you're complaining. Heard you think you're off the show. And he's a little irritated. It's really funny. I'm like, why is he irritated? He's working. You know, I'm thinking that in my head. And I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I did hear about that. And I was thinking, you know, am I done? And he goes, listen, we love you. We love your work. You're still on the show. If anything, this will bring you more work. Okay? I'm like, yeah, okay, man. That's great. That's great. Thanks. And I leave. And I was like, yeah, well, we'll see. But I also, on the flip side of that, I thought, no, why would he take the time to have a conversation with me? Because I think that was the only time in the 7 years that I ever had not a conversation, I mean, I'd see him here and there, where I really got pulled into the office, so to speak. So I thought, well, that's a lot for executive producer to do, so I bet he's probably telling the truth. And he was. After that, I worked a lot more on the show than I did before, and everything changed, and they just kept giving me more and more. So fortunate to have what they gave me. So blessed. Such a great run. Such a great character. Such a great character. So, anyway. So yes, working with JG was fabulous. See, they don't have questions. What? Okay, there you go. 1 and 2, there you go. hurry, I'm running out of time. Got like 2 minutes.
Did Nog's voice come easily to you?
Did Nog's voice?
Come easily to you?
Oh, come easily. That's a funny question that you asked that. First of all, I should have never done a character voice, as Armin was wise enough not to do. He told me why. Is all I knew I'd be working for 7 years in every episode, and to try to maintain that. Nope. And I'm like, why did somebody tell me that? It wasn't that difficult to do because one, I had teeth in my mouth. So the teeth, they forced me to over-pronunciate consonants. So I would hit words harder. So it was kind of easier to do that part. But the gravelly part in the throat, I tortured Sirach for years. Because we would rehearse, and I'd be like, does that sound right? Does that sound right? Yeah, you know. Be like, yeah, it's fine. Year 7. Does that sound right? Yeah. Oh my God, I think you got it by now. So I would always be trying to make sure I had the voice, or the character voice. And it's funny, watching that video, at the very beginning, I think you made that, correct? You overlapped some audio, but it wasn't with the scene. Is that correct?
Briefly,
yeah. Yeah, briefly. That, I thought I did a poor job of the character voice on that overlap, on that audio overlap. I was like, oh, I lost something in that voice. So that really bothered me at the moment I was watching that. Like, damn it, I knew I missed it at some point. So at times it was, but for the most part, not so much, because the teeth really helped.
How did Nog, as a Ferengi, come to terms with putting aside the rules of acquisition when he joined Starfleet?
Oh, well, first of all, because I joined Starfleet, I didn't have to learn them all and then recite them by the time I was a certain time. We have a ceremony that was removed from the show, one of the episodes, because I joined Starfleet. Thank God. No, I'm just kidding. That didn't happen. I don't think Nog... See, I saw it a little differently, but I don't think as the show is telling the stories of Nog, you would get to see that. But I think he just took those rules of acquisition and would twist them to benefit himself or Starfleet in his dealings as in whatever role he may take on. And what I would have loved to have seen is how he would use those to his advantage. So, you know, opportunity plus instinct equals profit, okay? So rather than think profit in money, he would think profit as in succeeding in a mission. Let's say he was a captain of a ship and he had to deal with somebody else in some situation. In order to succeed, to get out of that, or to, in a diplomatic mission, or rather, if it was a battle and to win it, that would be the profit. So I think Nog would probably take that. What's the opportunity? What's my instinct? And now I'm going to make this succeed, or I'll succeed as an officer. And I think that's how he would see the rules of acquisition. He would use all of them in some way. The bigger the knife, the sharp. The bigger the smile, the sharper the knife. Right. So in dealing with somebody as they're being overly friendly and overly nice, I think instinctively he would know, oh, this guy's going to stab me in the back. No. So I think that's how he would see it. That's how he would use it. He's still a Ferengi. And that's what would be so amazing to see him as a captain or a first officer or as a chief engineer in some capacity. And I think Nog is extremely ambitious. And I think people ask me, where would you see Nog? I said, well, definitely captain, admiral. He would not stop and go, oh, I'm happy as a first officer right now. He's like, no way, I got to keep going. And there's nothing that would stop him. So he would just use, like Treachery, Faith in the Great River is a perfect example of how he dealt with a problem as a Ferengi in a positive way. So, yeah, that's how I would assume it.
How did you feel about Nog's character development with Star Trek Online?
On Star Trek Online, I will have to honestly say is I don't know my full development on the game. I know that I did the voiceover for the character, which was so much fun.
He's captain of his own ship.
Oh, okay. I don't know that. I don't play the game. So there's no way for me to know. It's not like they send me notes. Hey, by the way, we just updated the game, and this is where you're at now in case you go to UK and somebody asks you. Just don't get that info.
You rock using a phaser rifle.
I'm what?
You rocked using the phaser rifle in the game.
Well, are you talking about when I played it? Well, no, because I did the voiceover and then I went up north and we did a live stream of me playing the game pretty poorly. And somebody from Cryptic was supposed to have my back and they dropped the ball and then I died. You know, I'm like, wow.
Would you ever join with Star Trek Renegades?
Oh, well, I have. I'm supposed to. I actually just got a text from Ryan Husk saying it's delayed again. So he's going to do something else that he wants me to be a part of. But yeah, I'm part of Renegades. So, but I haven't seen a script. So I was a little scared to say, sure, I'll do it. But I don't know what you're going to have me do. So I said, if I don't like it, I'm not going to do it. But I don't know in what capacity they're going to have Nog, so I'm a little concerned because it's got to stay true to the character. It's got to stay true to the character. So, and to answer your question, if they made me captain, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's great. Still doesn't seem very happy back there. Oh, he's smiling. He's smiling. Yes, sir.
Speaking of which, the new series in 2017, that's Captain Nog, right?
Gosh, you have no idea right now how much I wish that was true. Both professionally and it would help pay my bills. Absolutely. I wish. That would be so great if they brought Nog back for the new show. I honestly don't think they will. I haven't heard anything. It's not like no one's spoken to me about it whatsoever. So I don't have any rumors to tell. Maybe it would be smart to start placing rumors. Oh yeah, they heard. Oh yeah, they're calling. Get everybody all fired up, and then when it doesn't happen, everybody's so mad they go, God, now we got to bring Nog in. I wonder if that would work.
Start a petition.
What's that?
We'll start a petition.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know how much that would really influence them. But I guess nothing ever hurts, right? That would be so awesome. Like I said just a few minutes ago, I would really love to see Nog growing through Starfleet. And I don't mean, like his whole thing, but just seeing what he's doing, where he's going. The closest we got to that was The Visitor. That was the closest we got to it. But I would love to see more of him. And it's such a fun character. And honestly, I do miss him. I would love to play him again. I really would. I would really love to revisit that character and see where he's going and what he's doing. But I don't think they will. I mean, I'm not even sure what they're doing with the show and where it takes. I thought it was taking place back in where the original one was. Was that right? Was that the rumor?
We're apologizing for leaving because there's things that are happening besides you. So, no, it's okay.
I was just
No,
kidding.
you keep talking. It's fine.
I know.
Everybody's very interested. Go ahead.
Wow, ouch. Ouch, that hurt. That hurt so much right now.
I'm here
I
for
was
you.
really just kidding.
That's my job.
Yeah, okay.
Questions?
It's just like working with you.
Well,
I think
that's it then.
I'd say you just shut everybody down. I don't know what else to say. It's over now. I feel a little chastised.
I don't feel good about it either, Aaron, but that's sort of a constant. I wrote in the book, Left Hand of Destiny, the character is your character, Nog, in that book, but I named him Phar, P-H-A-R.
Why?
Because
Why did you just name him Nog?
so he could say far out at the end of one of his transmissions, and that's the only reason. But in my mind,
That book sell well.
yeah, it's incredible sell. You can order it on Amazon. Left Hand of Destiny.
As soon as I sit down, I'll go on my phone and order it, just so I can read that one page.
Why wait?
Do you have a copy?
No, order it now.
Well, then I have to wait. I mean, it's not like I just make it happen.
I'm not really asking you questions. You have
But
official
I love
questions
talking
here.
to you.
Yeah, well, we can do that on our own time.
But I think it's more entertaining now. Have you seen his show with Bob? The two Klingons? You have to see it if you haven't does it.
Questions?
They're hysterical. I have a question.
But enough about me.
Well, no, because this is about you. I don't think we have any more questions.
Did you have a
Let's see, I can tell another story.
Questions, get your questions here.
All right,
Red
here's
hot
another
questions.
story. Here's another story. Tell somebody, oh, there's a question. There is a question. Hey, you gotta get with it, man. I'm running out of time.
Sorry. You're already way over, but that's okay.
Am I? Thank you. Are you sure it's okay? Because it's not all about
It's
me.
only about me.
Yes.
After the, I believe it was AR33 episode where Nog's leg was amputated, was that difficult to add into the character, or was there any issues that you had with that?
No, I don't think, looking back on it, I don't remember feeling that it was difficult. I think when I look back on the show, every script I got was kind of like if you were reading a book and you read one chapter every couple weeks. And then every chapter is like, oh, let's learn more about this story. That's what it was like for me for the 7 years. I'd get a script and they would tell me in the direction Nog was going. And so then I would just take him in that direction. And then I would get another script and it would tell me a new place that he was going. So when I got Siege, you know, Nog was now a Starfleet officer, or not officer, but a cadet. At that time, was he cadet or, he was an officer at that time. So I passed cadet and now I was an officer. Now I was part of the war. And he was very gung-ho. He was very myopic in his sense of, that's where I'm going, this is my duty. Almost, what's the word? All he could think of is, nothing was really going to dent that mentality. He was like the young gung-ho soldier. You know, in Siege, when he loses his leg, you know, he has that line, I'll be, you know, I can't remember the exact line, but when he's talking to the captain when he's laying down, he's like, I'll be back, you know, I'm coming back. And I think at that point, it is a switch for him. So going into Paper Moon, it wasn't difficult, it was more like, well, where's his head at this time? And his head at that time, it switches, I'm going, gung-ho, nothing can harm me, I'm bulletproof, like, to, I could actually die. And then his thought process is, do I really want to do this? I put everything I had into joining Starfleet. I put my whole race aside, saying, I'm not going to do what everybody else does. I'm going to step over here. This is what I want. And I'm going to put everything into it. And then he realizes, oh shit, maybe I don't want this. And a lot of people, you know, related it to PTSD, which is true. It is a form of PTSD. But I'll be honest, post-traumatic stress disorder. But I'll be honest, I really looked at it more cerebral. Where is his head? What does he think? And for me, it was really about, Nog isn't sure where he wants to go anymore. So now he doesn't know what to do. He's kind of, and he's kind of like pushed his family or his uncle, you know, I don't want to be part of the bar. I don't want to be a true Ferengi. I want to do this. And now he's not sure. And now he's afraid. And he's scared. And he's withdrawn from everybody around him, trying to figure out what is it that he really wants to do. So it was really just kind of going through that mentality and how I applied that to that episode. And probably relating it to my own personal life with all my kidney stuff that I went through. It's kind of all of that mixed together. And then at the end, I'll get to you 1 second. And then at the end, they go, are you okay? And he goes, no, I'm not, but I will be. And I think that was a big switch for him. And it's those things in life that we all deal with, every single one of us, that we deal with that makes us who we become year after year after year. And I think that's why so many people love Star Trek. So anyway, I hope that's a long-winded answer to your question, but I was saying about why people like Star Trek, and I think it's those journeys that people take in the show that really mean a lot to people. But, yes, sir. Did you still want to ask your question, or did you got to go get Claudia's photo?
Should I just shout? Because I've got a microphone.
What? Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so...
What? No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist.
Okay, so some of my favorite episodes of DS9 are where you have Ferengi-only adventures. And one of my favorites is where Nog, Rom, Quark, and a whole bunch of Ferengi have to get together and try and save Moogie.
Yeah, the magnificent Ferengi. Yes.
Can you just give us a little insight into what it's like? Because I think you see the whole range of Ferengi characteristics in it. You know,
Yeah.
fear, courage, etc.
From A to B.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. People mention that show a lot. I don't have a lot of memories of that show. And I think because I tend to have a lot of memories more on the big moments that Nog went through, like Heart of Stone, Paper Moon, the stuff where Jake and I, like Faith and Treachery, that one, all the things where Nog was kind of growing tend to have more of the memories that I have. One of the biggest memories I would say I would have from that show was that there were so many Ferengi all getting in makeup. So they had to bring in so many people at 4:30 in the morning, and then we had so many makeup artists on set kind of going through that day after day after day. And it was enjoyable in that sense. And of course, Iggy Pop was probably my biggest memory from that episode. I mean, that was pretty cool. And I remember Ira going, he was so excited, he got Iggy Pop to be on the show. And I wish I was more... You didn't like Iggy Pop?
I didn't know Iggy Pop was on the show.
Oh, you didn't?
Wow.
Yeah, they did.
That would be cool.
It was pretty cool. And I have to admit, I wish I was more of a fan of his music at that time. I mean, I'm still not, but it's not because I don't like him. I'm more of a Clash fan. If it was like, Joe Strummer's not here, but if Joe Strummer was there, I'd be like, oh my God, Joe Strummer. Oh, it's so awesome. I'd have been a little bit more giddy. But Iggy Pop was like, God, I always see him he's like this in a picture. His whole body's outstretched. That's all I think of when I think of Iggy Pop as this big punk, musician. But I don't know his music that well. So those are really only my memories of the show. But I will say this, Max will always say this, Max Grenenchek, who plays Ron, he'll always say this. He'll say, you know what I love most about Magnificent Ferengi? See if I can remember this correctly. It was so nice to see so many other people as miserable as me. I was thinking, no, I wasn't as miserable, but whenever he says that, I think that's pretty funny. So now I ruined his speech if he ever comes out to speak. But just laugh again, so he doesn't know that I told that, if you were there. Yeah. So, okay, should I let everybody go? Because they probably, if you want to go, please, it's okay. As the others that have, leave. I really won't be that offended. No? So, should I keep going? I can keep going. I can tell you another story if you want. Another story? Okay, no, they don't. Look at them. Oh, God. That was funny. If you want another story, I'll tell another story. They got up quick. Everybody's leaving now. All right. So I'll tell this one story, and then I'll call it a day. Because somebody's speaking after me, aren't they?
That would be me, Aaron.
Oh, I didn't see you on there. Am I taking your time?
No.
Here, please, take the mic.
I want to show that film afterwards.
Oh, okay. So I'll tell this story, and then we'll call this the day.
Stick Reptile Rangers on there.
Okay, all right. So this is a quick story. So the episode, everyone always thinks this is kind of funny. Stem bolts. Do you remember that episode where I had to talk about it? Okay, good. See, she's excited. That's good. At least somebody's excited. So we had this scene where I had the line, I know who can tell us what's... No, you don't want to leave. This is a great story. I promise. You're going to be very disappointed.
Getting a photo shoot with Claudia.
I know. But it's a great story. I know who can tell us what self-sealing stem bolts are. Bit of a tongue twister, wouldn't you say? And I have teeth in my mouth. Okay? This is first season, right? So I'm like terrified. Anytime I screw up, I'm never coming back. So Sirach and I are doing this scene. The camera does this long pan around, if I remember correctly. So we have to do it all pretty much in one take. So we're going through the scene, and then I have the line, wait, I know who can tell us what self-sealing stuff. Okay, that's all right, I got it. So we start again. Wait, I know who can tell us what self-stuff. I cannot say the line. For the life of me, I cannot say this tongue twister. So we do it, so we're up to take 10. 10. Okay. I'm like getting nervous, and I go, wait, I know who can tell us what self-sealing... I'm not even acting now. I don't know what I'm doing now. I don't even know what I'm doing. It's like if you repeat a word over and over and over again, and it just doesn't mean anything to you, right? So we're at take 15, I think. He's shaking his head. I didn't do this in our scene. So take 15. Wait, I know who can tell us what self-sealing stem bolts are. And I'm in my head going, oh my God, I said it. It's Jake's line. Come on, Jake. Say your fucking line. Oh, sorry for cussing. We have kids here. Do we? No? So, wait, and he laughs. He cracks up. He can't remember his line. And all he had to say was, what? What One word. I'm like, are you kidding? I said it. I said it. Here we go again. Wait, I know who can tell us herself. Wait, I know. And the director's just squirming in his chair. He's like, oh my God. Because he's getting further and further behind, right? And that's money. That's money. I understand that. I'm a Ferengi. That's money. Finally, wait, I know who can tell us what self-sealing stumbles are. What? Oh my God. Next line, next line. We're done. It's a take, it's a print. 19 takes. 19 freaking takes. But I do think Terry Farrell, no, I won't say that. Because Terry means too much to me. I did the most takes. I screwed up more than anybody on the show for the 7 years. 19 takes. No. That was awful. I thought I was done. I thought I was off the show. So I guess there's twice I thought I was off the show. So I'm going to thank you all for listening to my little story.
Was that the episode where all the Ferengis were on?
No. That was the first season.
Because that would be a very expensive show with all that makeup on, waiting for you to get your line.
Yes, it would be. Thank you for pointing that out.
But it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. I didn't screw up then.
No.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Do you want the mic now?
Yeah, you're
Oh,
done.
I am done.
Aaron, ladies and gentlemen.